Dear friends, yesterday's fall of Bitcoin was so unexpected, just like this month's collapse of FTX. But the main cryptocurrency is not napping and is already trading around $16,500. Let me tell you what was happening in the past 24 hours and what we should expect. You're on the Make Money channel. Let's sort it all out. Last night, Bitcoin hit the $15,400 mark on its fall. A day before, Genesis had requested a $1 billion loan in order to avoid going bankrupt. Throughout the fall, the company received over $1 billion from Alameda, with a scandalous reputation lately. It would seem what could go wrong, so why else ask for a loan? The fact is that the received amount was transferred in FTT token from the FTX exchange. Given the current state of the exchange and the token, we can conclude that Genesis only received a phantom. The collapse of FTX has caused a lot of trouble in the cryptocurrency world and continues to take over firms one by one. A more detailed analysis of the bankruptcy of the exchange is already on our channel. Who do you think will be next in the path of the infamous FTT/death token? Personally, I want to hope that Genesis will be the last on the list, after which we'll have a positive outlook on the entire market. Let's get back to our analysis. Let's touch on the previous victims of Sam Bankman, head of FTX. So that for you the picture should be brought, with all their ramifications. The story itself began back in the summer of this year. On July 1, cryptocurrency platform Voyager Digital Limited announced a temporary suspension of trading, deposits and withdrawals. The company called it a difficult but correct decision. On July 6, Voyager declared bankruptcy. On July 22, three companies associated with FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried offered Voyager a deal under which Alameda would take over all of Voyager's assets and use FTX to sell them and distribute them proportionately among users affected by the bankruptcy. In a rejection letter filed with the court on July 24 as part of the pending bankruptcy proceedings, Voyager's lawyers denounced the proposal made public by FTX and Alameda. Accordingly, Voyager did not make a deal with the devil. Voyager representatives suggested that their own proposed plan to reorganize the company was better, because according to them, it would allow them to quickly deliver all cash and cryptocurrencies to their customers. It would later be revealed that Voyager had 4,650,000 FTT tokens and 63,750,000 SRM tokens. On September 23, it became known that Alameda would return $200 million to Voyager under a New York court order. On September 27, FTX won the bidding for its own assets amid Voyager's bankruptcy. But why would it spend $1.5 billion to buy back its own tokens? Then Celsius comes into our story. On June 12, Celsius suspended withdrawals, exchanges, and transfers between accounts due to extreme market conditions. On June 13, it was reported that crypto platform Celsius had filed for bankruptcy after freezing customer funds. When Celsius filed for bankruptcy, a deficit of about $1.2 billion was disclosed. The amount is similar to a Genesis loan, isn't it? FTX decided to acquire Celsius, but something went wrong. On June 30, FTX backed out of the deal to buy Celsius after reviewing its balance sheet, where a $2 billion shortfall had been found. On September 29, the FTX exchange, led by a crypto billionaire, is looking for alternative ways to save itself and is considering a bailout of Celsius Network. On November 11, bankrupt cryptocurrency lender Celsius Network said it had loaned $13 million to Alameda Research, which had itself declared bankruptcy along with its subsidiary FTX. The loans are now mostly secured by the FTT token, Celsius said in this tweet. Very few people paid attention to it, but BlockFi was also involved in the whole scheme. On June 21, BlockFi received a $250 million loan from FTX. On June 24, FTX was in talks to buy a portion of BlockFi, though earlier this week FTX had provided a $250 million emergency credit line to that cryptocurrency lender. On July 1, FTX was close to buying BlockFi for only $25 million, as the company was in trouble from the notorious Luna coin crash. On November 14, BlockFi suspended cash withdrawals and warned that it would no longer accept deposits after FTX had collapsed. The company was preparing for bankruptcy. The most unexpected guest was the TAC fund, Three Arrows Capital. The cryptocurrency hedge fund can't meet its creditors' margin calls. TAC was the largest crypto fund in the world before its collapse in July. It turned out that the fund was allegedly had billions of dollars in assets, was mired in massive debt, and had to be liquidated as a result. This event was a bright spot for the plunge in the crypto winter. FTX was likely aware of the problems at TAC and understood that all of its creditors, namely Voyager, Celsius, and BlockFi, which you now know, were holding a lot of FTT on its balance sheet. Then there is the story of the collapse of the second most capitalized exchange, FTX, which you all know about. Back to Genesis. Like other well-known firms, it trusted the Three Arrows Capital Fund. After observing the deplorable experiences of previous cryptocurrency companies, Genesis made the wrong conclusions. We can assume that the company's primitive capital was held in FTT token, as the TAC provided many people with these tokens. Now the reason for begging for $1 billion from Binance for us is known. But the video is not over at this point. Over the past 24 hours, we could observe the usual frontal-end scheme of the cryptocurrency world whales. Genesis has openly created negativity in the market, showing and telling everyone about their dire situation. In response, Binance didn't approve the loan, or to be precise, shut down the deal. This means that the loan could have been granted, but in the end we see a denial. Of course, amid such news, Bitcoin showed its next decline. Yesterday, the news platform Decrypt reported that 75% of institutional investors' positions on the exchanges were short. This was a record high, and the positions on assets decreases were not limited to Bitcoin. Ethereum, BNB, Solana, and Polygon were also involved. But this information had been published before the world knew about the upcoming bankruptcy of Genesis. Yesterday morning, Genesis tweeted out a statement saying that they had no plans to file for bankruptcy, and most importantly, they now needed half as much money as they did, only $500 million instead of $1 billion. Now you can guess that in yesterday's 24 hours, Genesis made $500 million on that very decline. That is, first the big institutions opened short positions, including Genesis. Then the company announced the threat of bankruptcy, and voila! 12 hours later, the financial component of Genesis get back on track. Personally, I hope that such a dirty method will help Genesis to solve its problems, and we will not see another world bankrupt. My friends, I urge you to be careful at such moments in the market, not to bypass the news, and always be on the alert. And our channel will help you in this. Such situations can happen again in the future, so be prepared. Write your opinion about who has managed to profit from this fall and who may have lost money waiting for a local rebound of Bitcoin. At the moment, Bitcoin reached $16,500 mark. Will it be the beginning of growth or another manipulation of our whales? I'm waiting for your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching. Do not forget that we also have our Telegram channel, which is in the description below the video. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and of course like this video. Make money.